So I have a reputation for telling it like it is. I'm known for my candor. I've had a lot of great victories, and I may be willing to put that to work. I mean, I wish that, frankly, I wish there was a candidate that I saw that would be fantastic, because I love what I'm doing. In fact, I have a great club that's 15 minutes away. By the way, Ron Paul cannot get elected, I'm sorry to tell you. Sorry. Again, thank you very much. It's an honor.
President Trump. Joining me now, Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush, and Dick Harpootlian, former South Carolina Democratic Party Chair. All right, Brad, let me start with you as the man from the same side of the aisle that Donald Trump would be running on, the Republican side. President Trump? Possible?
No. He's the Punxsutawney Phil of the Republican Party. You know that it's presidential season when Donald Trump comes out of his mansion, puts his head around, and then says, I'm going to dip my toe in the water. I will tell Donald Trump he knows a lot about bankruptcies because he's had a lot of bankruptcies and bank defaults, and that's exactly what the American people are not looking for. He's a brand. It's all about Donald Trump. God bless him. In America, everybody has a right to run. But I will caution Mr. Trump on this. You have to be selected by the party before you're elected by the people. You can't pass the first hurdle. You don't get to the second.
What do you make of it, Dick? Because, you know, to many, his speech at CPAC was refreshing. You know, he came in there. He was ready to kick some butt, show leadership. He says the United States has become the laughingstock of the world, and he could turn that around because he's well acquainted with winning. And that does appeal to a sort of populist sentiment in the United States.
Well, we Democrats hope so, because if this Republican primary is Grizzly Mom versus the Donald, it's just another reality show. And I mean, Brad, you know, Brad and I agree on this. This guy's not qualified to be president of the United States. But what is interesting and fascinating to me is how why not? Well, as Brad pointed out, a couple bankruptcies. I mean, the op research on him, all you have to do is go to People magazine. You wouldn't even have to hire an opposition research person. This guy's not qualified to be president of the United States. But, you know, I said Sarah Palin wasn't qualified to be vice president of the United States. So who knows what the Republican Party will do. What is interesting is that CPAC, this very conservative, very influential group, loves this guy. And I think, Brad, this is the problem with
no, they don't love him, Dick. Come on,
election for the Republicans.
Come on, they don't love him.
Somebody to beat somebody.
Come on, please. It was like an accident. People go slow to take a look.
Sit here
they
right
took a
now
look
in
at
South Carolina.
Well, but he may be getting some traction. He may be getting some traction. Let me just interject, because however CPAC felt about him, the WMUR, which is New Hampshire's only TV station, did an interview with him that airs tonight. They're taking him seriously. Manchester Union Leader, which traditionally a lot of the conservative candidates seek their endorsement, they're putting a poll out on his candidacy. More and more, we're hearing his name, Brad, as a potentially legitimate challenger. And you guys are both dismissing him, but I'm here to tell you, you know, Sarah Palin was dismissed as well. Michelle Bachmann has been dismissed by many. Christine O'Donnell was dismissed by many. She lost in the general election, but she got the Republican nod.
Well, I plead with
and we can
Republican
pray
candidates.
That he gets the Republican
First Brad,
nod.
then Dick.
But I plead with Republican candidates, the ones that really have a shot, to come out and announce sooner rather than later, so Donald will go back to where he belongs, in the entertainment section. This is not a serious candidate for Republicans. It doesn't bear well that even people say he is. He knows he's not. Donald has done this every 4 years.
That's true.
And then he says, well, you know what? I see other people who are more qualified than me to take the lead, so I'm going to support them. The fact is, Donald Trump just donated to Rahm Emanuel's campaign. Donald Trump told Wolf Blitzer a few years ago on CNN that he considers himself to be a Democrat.
And he donated Harry Reid $2,400 in 2009, and he donated to Chuck Schumer here in New York. And the question that some are raising, Dick, is whether this is a publicity stunt, because he apparently told Good Morning America that he can't decide whether to run until June, because that's when the current season of The Apprentice ends.
Well, I mean, as Brad said, this guy is a great showman. I do say this, though. I wouldn't be so concerned about Donald. I'd be concerned about the reaction of those conservatives that were at that very influential meeting, their reaction to him. They're looking for somebody.
It's not as influential as you would hope it to be.
Wait, let him finish. Go ahead, Dick.
But So I think the canary in the coal mine, if you will, is the reaction they had to Donald Trump. Donald Trump will not run. Brad knows that. I know that. It's good for ratings for his TV show. But, you know, I guess the next person to get into this race will be Kim Kardashian.
Well, his wife, Melania, thinks he would be a fabulous president. All right, guys, thank you. Brad and Dick, always a pleasure.